right, it's a Friday, and of course, we've done a little fruit basket turnover here. We've moved some people around because we've got something really important we want to share with you, and it's great to have here Kenna, who is the CEO of Harbin Clinic, and Kirk Stuenkel, president of Atrium Health Floyd, with us this morning, and I appreciate you guys coming in so early on Friday morning. Good to see both of you. All right, let's talk about recent news. The combination of the two entities have been finalized. Kind of a merger of services. And so let's talk a little bit about what is this combination of Harbin and Atrium Health Floyd? I guess, how does it improve the health care for the area?
Well, we're very hopeful that it'll improve it in many ways, mostly in more seamless care. I think that is what a merger like this will bring about for people more immediately. That's my thought anyway. Kurt?
Well, we've always worked closely together with the Harbin Clinic and all our physicians, but now we'll be teammates, and we'll be able to work on many more things together. And I agree with Kenna. The things that we can work on together, we're beginning to develop a list, but I think there are things we haven't even dreamed of yet.
Right. Well, what are the what will patients see immediately? I mean, as far as like going through the patient portals of both and setting appointments, are they going to see any big differences?
Not from Harbin's perspective. It'll take time for us to come together in systems in that manner. So how patients schedule appointments at Harbin Clinic will remain the same. How they access their portal will remain the same. And we'll make those in an evolutionary way rather than, a flip of the switch.
Yeah, it's not like next week, here's a brand new thing. Because you've got nothing happens extremely fast in technology. So, because everything has to be just so right. And this would definitely be something that would take a little while, maybe a year or two, before anything like that might be different.
I think there will certainly be planning for systems changes in that first year, but nothing immediately.
Well, let's talk about the medical expertise that both bring. I mean, Harbin Clinic hitting the century mark, Atrium Floyd with its new connection with the Wake Forest School of Medicine through Advocate. And so how do these, it seems like there's a lot of knowledge there.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, one of the prime reasons that Floyd chose to join with Atrium Health, now Advocate, is that it is one of the largest not-for-profit systems in the nation, and the depth of capability and expertise was just so impressive to us. Now we're finishing our third year as being a part of Atrium Health, and during that time, Atrium Health merged with another entity, and the parent company is called Advocate Aurora now, and it is the fourth largest health system in the United States, the third largest not-for-profit system with annual revenues of over $30 billion and over 150,000 employees. And now we add the Harbin Clinic employees to that. So there's continued growth in Advocate Health. And it's not just growth for growth's sake. It's growth for the depth of capability and experience. And Tony, you mentioned Wake Forest. One of the things that characterizes Advocate Health is its commitment to academic medicine. And with that commitment to academic medicine, there is continual research and continue to explore and expand the frontiers of knowledge. We're all a part of that now, and I'll let Kenna pick it up from there. I have to think that was part of the Harbin Clinic's decision criteria too. Is that, wow, this company is really something.
I think so. And when we think about what that brings to Harbin Clinic, I think a couple of things. One, just the depth of knowledge and expertise that comes along with that. Advanced research capabilities. A lot of our physicians already participate in clinical research trials, which we think are important in the advancement of healthcare and even in our community. And this will give us more depth into that. But when we think about recruitment for the future generations, my goodness, having access to those kinds of that kind of organization that has a medical school gives us some of that access, and hopefully some of those people decide that Northwest Georgia is a wonderful place to practice medicine.
Well, and also, and this just came to mind, in addition to Wake Forest, the local colleges here, the relationships that you have with the nursing schools, that's got to be a huge advantage as far as just, continuously, because there is the shortage of nurses, and that's also a very, it continues to be one of those types of careers that there's always going to be a need for healthcare givers, and that seems to be a nice advantage too.
We did jump on that a little over a year ago now. You mentioned, Tony, our relationship with Georgia Highlands College, and President Mike Hobbs had the vision to expand the nursing school, and Lisa Jellum, the dean of the nursing program there, came to us with an idea to increase the number of faculty members. And honestly, she said, I just don't have the money for that in my budget. She made a proposal, and we said, absolutely, we will do that. And now we've increased the size of the faculty. We're growing the enrollment. And one of the beautiful things about Georgia Highlands College is that most of those graduates stay in this region. Mm-hmm. And another neat thing about it is that a lot of these folks are first-time members of their families to pursue increased education beyond high school. So it's helping to lift people in our community. They're going to stay in our community. They're going to be part of the pipeline for our healthcare system. And now Berry College has joined in the training of professionals with a physician's associates program.
Right.
And our new foundation, which also resulted from our merger with Atrium Health, and I can talk about that if you'd like me to.
Sure.
Our new foundation decided to join with other major donors to give $2 million to this new PA program at Berry College, and when they're up and operating, they're going to be producing 40 graduates a year. And we can talk about the wonderful medical care in our region, which is true, but one of the problems that we have is we have a growing shortage of physicians and of APPs, advanced practice providers. So we've got to grow the pipeline.
Wow, and that seems to be could be a good plus for Harbin as well. I mean, with your association, and it's kind of like I asked you this question. Okay, how do we talk about this? What is this, a merger? Is this an acquisition? Is this? But you're basically owned by the same parent company. Is that? You're just two different brands working together in collaboration to provide some great health care. I guess is really kind of.
I think we'll be bringing those brands together.
Yeah,
and bringing the best of both organizations together to create something new.
We're not going to be as separate as you indicated in your question. In fact, as part of the deal that was finally inked this last week, we're going to share governance at the health system level here locally. Our board of Floyd Healthcare Management, after we get through this transition period that Kenna was describing as it pertains to technology, there are a lot of issues in the transition period, and we'll have teams working on that. But within 12 to 18 months, our Floyd Healthcare Management board is going to be made up of legacy Harbin physicians who are now part of Atrium, but legacy Harbin physicians and our legacy board members. And we're going to be about a 50-50 makeup. And so we're going to share our governance. And that was a feature that with the signal we wanted to send to the Harbin Clinic as Atrium, that we're serious about local governance and we're serious about coming together in a meaningful way.
And when you bring about the history of Harbin Clinic, 100 years, and also the history of Floyd, but known as Floyd Medical at the time. That's a lot of healthcare history that people should, if they don't already know a lot about it, but how it all started and how it developed and why it happened, and just the dedication to this area that both facilities have given to this area is pretty impressive.
I mean, we got generations of Harbins, and we have 80 years of history at Floyd. And so, it's a nice melding of two very strong traditions.
Now, what will patients likely notice first after after this combination? Will they really? Is it going to be seamless for them, for patients?
We hope so.
As far as that's the intent. I know. Yeah.
It's hard to deliver seamless healthcare these days, but that is our ambition. Always has been our ambition. And the one thing that we don't want this deal to do is to disrupt good patient care. That is our mission, and we want to do all of this transition as much as we can in the background, so that it's not disruptive to patient care. There will be some disruptions. You can't, at some point, we'll have a EHR, electronic health record conversion, most likely.
Yeah.
Those are always painful. Painful for everybody that's participating, but as much as we can, we want to keep that noise in the background, and for patient care not to be disrupted at all.
Does this even increase the reason not to have to go to, say, to a facility in Chattanooga or Atlanta even greater with what is available right here in Northwest Georgia?
Well, not immediately.
No.
But I expect as time goes by, our capabilities are going to continue to increase, and the need for transfer to a further level of care, as you identified, Tony, has gone down and down and down as the years have gone on. I expect that'll continue.
And it's convenient for families. I mean, it's important for families that if they have a loved one that has to have a big procedure or some extra care, but for the most part, everything you need right now is just right here in Northwest Georgia. So,
well, I'll point out one of our latest improvements is our Level 2 Trauma Center. I mean, we've been a Level 2 Trauma Center for a long time, but the state of Georgia decided to raise the bar and to make Level 2 Trauma Center standards consistent with the American College of Surgeons Level 2 Trauma Center standards, which necessitated us to increase the coverage that we had available, and the Harbin Clinic absolutely participated with us on that, where we have a general surgeon, a trauma surgeon available on call, dedicated to Floyd 24/7, 365 days a year. That increased the coverage. We also brought, for the first time to this community, orthopedic traumatology, which means it's a orthopedist that's specially trained in orthopedic injuries that can occur from trauma, especially what's called blunt trauma, automobile accidents and the like, which can often be very complicated procedures. Until the arrival of our orthopedic traumatologist, we have two now, those procedures got transferred out, as you were describing, Tony, because they were so complicated. They weren't done on a regular basis by our orthopedists.
Right.
And so now we have two orthopedic traumatologists. We almost never transfer an orthopedic traumatology patient out now. So that's a very recent improvement in the last couple of years. Better for the families, less expensive, better for the patients.
Wow. All right. Well, the clock has us here. We could go on a little bit longer, and I'm sure I'd love to have you both back again as this progresses and continues to develop. But we've been talking with Kenna Stock, CEO of Harbin Clinic, and Kirk Stuenkel, president of Atrium Health Floyd. I appreciate you both coming in on a Friday morning and sharing this news and kind of clearing the air and explaining a little bit better how all this is going to work. So thank you both.
For giving us the
Happy to be
opportunity.
here.